Using chili pepper to preserve beans, what chases them away? Is it the pepper, or the pepper has a particular scent that
You see, I think it's probably the capsaicin inside pepper.
inside pepper?
Pepper is insects are like tiny living things, and things that are odorous and all of that scares them away a lot.
So something that just
You can
come into my mind. Can you
extract
extract
the
that and
pepper.
culture it?
Exactly. It's the way we're thinking it. The same like you can extract because it's capsaicin. Capsaicin is what makes pepper spicy. You can extract it,
The
make it
calcium inside the pepper.
yes,
Look for a way to multiply it in the lab and use it as organic means of
produce it
preserving.
exactly.
So today we are going to be talking about value chain addition and food processing. Why do we run out of food at some particular seasons, despite the fact that we produce food every year that is enough to feed ourselves? This is what we are going to be talking today. I am the Uniloin fanboy, and with me is Dami on the show today, and we'll be talking about food processing. So do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and help follow us across our social media platform, because we are determined to give you the best. These are value chain addition and some very good opportunities in agriculture that you could leverage on and become a millionaire in a couple of years. So come with us, let's go. Before we proceed, there's something I want to read to you from my phone, and here it does go. About 30 to 40% of food in Africa is lost or wasted overall annually. A commonly cited average is around 37% of food lost in sub-Saharan Africa. That means if we have 100 bags of food, to every 100 bags of food, it is prone that 30 to 40% of that food will be lost. Specifically, due to poor processing or post-harvest issues, 10 to 20% of grains are lost before processing as a result of handling, storage, lack of processing facilities. In many cases, most of these losses, most of this loss, up to 60% of it, happens before food even reaches consumers. Imagine that. About 96% of this, or the overall loss we witness, happens before the food even reaches consumers. So mainly due to poor storage facilities, that is number one, lack of food processing, and weak transportation system. So these are some of the very great challenges we have in agriculture, and we really need to take swift action in it. If not, billions of nairas will be losing every day and will be draining from farmers' pocket. Imagine you going to the farm, suffering inside the sun from January to June or October, harvesting your produce, and in a couple of months, due to post-harvest issues, then you losing 30 to 40% of it. How will you feel? Watch this video to the end, because myself and Miss Damilola are going to make justice to this topic. So over to you, Miss Dami. What can you say about this challenge we are facing in agriculture?
Hi, hi. So when you were giving the statistics, this is not the first time I've been hearing them though.
Oh, so you've been hearing it.
I've been hearing them, but anytime I hear them, my heart breaks because it's a lot of food now. I'm a foodie, I think you know. So I don't like food wastage in any sense. I would rather like eat it, give it out than waste food because no, it's not necessarily let's save the environment. Yes, that's part, but it just breaks my heart seafood wasting.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this challenge is something that has been prevalent over a period of time. It's something that we've always been saying, Africa, we are wasting food, we are wasting food. And then when you go to the Nigerian house, food doesn't waste. But then on a large scale,
Food is
food is
wasting.
wasting. Because it's our mothers that will turn Sunday stew to Monday jollof.
Jollof, exactly.
I have that habit. I still do it, turn one
Oh.
food into another. They don't like to waste food. But then on the large scale, food is wasting. And it's not necessarily because, okay, um, it's the farmer's fault or anything. There's no transportation. There is
Hmm.
no pest control. There is no proper storage. If you see the way they heap fruits, especially fruits, vegetables, they'll still like, even vegetables, they'll pack it in bales, heat.
Exactly.
And vegetables, on if you go to the market, you see these market women carrying, but they have water. They just sprinkle, sprinkle,
On
sprinkle,
the
sprinkle
vegetables.
on the vegetables. After a while, it will still go back. They will quickly sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle again, and all of that. So there's no proper storage, there's no pest control, there's no there's none of these things. And then on the you will now see at the bottom of the sack, or at the bottom there's like a lot of water and
Yeah,
deteriorating,
settled at the base.
settled at the base, mashed up tomatoes, mashed up pepper. And there's a market in Ibadan that if you go at certain periods of the time, if you want to enter the market, you wade through tomato soup water. I
Damn,
call it that because it's tomatoes. It's a fruit.
like rotten and
It's a pepper
deteriorated
farm. Yeah,
tomatoes
tomatoes,
on the
pepper.
floor.
Yes, on the floor because the place is actually a mash. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's now a lot of wastage. So you wade through it like this if you are going through. And then come dry season when, or maybe not dry season when tomatoes are kind of scarce or production, production is not all year round.
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
tomatoes will be scarce and all of that. And then you see everywhere dry, like everywhere so dry. Why is it not
At the same
wasted
market.
at the same market? Why is it not wasted? So that shows
These
like
are the same farmers that during that time they will be patronizing tin tomatoes.
exactly you have people you have this lack of production. Would I say consistency where there's production all this through this time? There's no production. So the question remains: the food that we're wasting, although unintentionally,
Mm-hmm.
why can't we find a way to preserve them and keep them in such a time that even when food is scarce or it's not the season
Yeah,
and
there
all
is
of that.
scarcity.
Although people have been trying to find their way around all year production now. There's irrigation, there's controlled farming and precision farming and all of this to make food all year round. But for the local farmers, why not help them in such a way that they can store this produce up until because to be very honest, yeah, we have silos, cribs, like they will teach us in
In
agriculture in
class.
class.
But how real are those
But then
things
exactly, how
in the real
real.
world?
And I remember my school had one of these things, and it was a yeah. We entered and we saw it, and the grades there they were not doing very well on the other
You
side.
mean the
Even
storage?
the storage, yeah, they work, they store, they do this and all, but we need to because climate change is here, temperature rising, food.
Mm.
Have you made soup and you made soup in the morning and by the time you come back in the
In the
evening, it has
evening?
swollen up.
Yeah.
Why is the soup swelling up? Why is it swelling up? I did not ask for double soup now. But then like the soup would have swollen up and all of that. So climate change is happening. There's a lot of heat, there's a lot of humidity, there's a lot of changes in the weather we're used to.
Hmm.
Because there was a time that I remember my mom would say if you do something, if you make soup, you don't even need to keep it in the fridge. It will store. It will do this. It will do that.
How?
I don't know. I think those times. I don't know. Maybe that was climate change has always been. But then the
Maybe
time
then the climate was favorable to them.
exactly the climate was favorable. We should say it will store. Just keep it and warm it very well. But now with the number, I've warmed my soup like several times today. Every time I
For the
reach,
fear of it getting
for the
spoiled.
fear of it getting spoiled. So things are changing. We need to actually do better with process.
Talking about food processing, let's bring in some very perishable crops now, like the likes of tomatoes, most especially. Tomato
Tomatoes.
is a very perishable crop, and it's a crop that gives money if you
Yes.
look at it and you know how to go about the production at the right time. So you can plant tomatoes all year round due to controlled weather, controlled irrigation
Farming and all of that.
system, all this stuff with the way technology is going now. So tomatoes, for example, how can you preserve tomatoes to make it available for everybody at an affordable rate all year round?
Remember there was when growing up there was this brand that came.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to Pepe Terra. The story of Pepe
They've
Terra.
gone into extinction.
Yeah, because I think Pepe Terra at that time, yes, it was kind of like the usual tomato paste that we had, but then it still felt fresher and tastes fresher than compared to the processed ones that last for long. Sometimes I would leave my Gino sachet of tomatoes
Hmm.
open and then it will spoil. What are they? Well, preservatives and all of
Yeah,
that. But then,
preservatives.
for people that prefer fresh alternatives. So for crops like tomatoes, I remember when I was speaking to my undergraduate supervisor about this. That was when I fell in love with the concept of a solar dryer. I think I've mentioned here once that final year project I built a solar dryer. And then
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you the solar dryer is maybe I'll show pictures. I'll definitely send pictures to attach.
Yeah, well, I will
This
attach to the
you attach
videos.
the
Yeah.
solar dryer is like is as tall. It's not as tall as me. It's like shoulder length, and it's still a small scale. It's long. It
And
can
what's the capacity?
the capacity is, I think it could house, because it had trays inside. It could house
Yes.
like 4 kg
At a
tomatoes
go.
at a go. But then the way it did it was the way and I can remember that with a lot of, although with a lot of, because I used scraps to make it. I used stuff like styrofoam, polythene nylon. You know this nylon film that you find on mattresses.
Yes.
This very thick nylon that you find on new mattresses.
And it doesn't generate heat.
Wait, I'm coming. I'm trying to explain the concept to you.
Okay.
So I used that, and then I used scrap metal, got a welder, and everything I spent in making that dryer.
Less than 30K.
Let's say 30K. Just capital.
Not even up to 50.
Not even up to 50.
That's less than.
And
That's
that
less
that
than.
dryer is not.
Just about $20.
It doesn't use electricity in such a way, and the way it does, the mechanism of it is that it takes solar energy, traps it in, because there was a lot of padding. There was something I painted black. There was something I
Okay.
welded. There was something I used to cover it
So that heat will not be lost.
so it will not be lost. And then I can always cover it in. So it's like a mini oven. Because I remember when I tried it with pepper and I tried it with radish. Radish is a very perishable product.
More perishable than tomatoes.
I would say, I could say they're on the same level, because radish
Okay.
will give off one very, very foul smell like this. It's a root crop.
Okay.
But it's not like sweet potato. It has a lot of
Is it like
moisture.
beetroot? Something like beetroot?
No, it's a root crop like sweet potato, yeah.
Okay.
But then it has this onion feel. When you cut radish into your soup, it gives off the onion. But when you dry it, it can be a spice. Because I remember when I dried radish that time, and then I'll open this dryer up, and
Using
you think
your
I was
dryer, your
using
oven
my
dryer.
dryer, and now you would think I was baking something. And then I did, because my supervisor was really interested, because it's something he's very proud of, right? Till date, till he may wants to make sure that article goes up as a published article, like an article goes up for it. He's told me that we should do an evaluation of nutrients. Can you believe that? Not much nutrients.
Was lost
Not much. Like
in after you drying.
you are drying, obviously, so you should have like a reduction, because due to
Exactly.
But then the way this thing happens is it just like sucks out. It's like you're baking something. It sucks
Okay,
out the
so
moisture.
the moisture content alone.
Was the one that, because it had inlets, valves, and outlets, like there were openings in the
That will
dryer
assist the water
that will
escaping.
assist the water escaping and bring in fresh air. So the air was like going like this
Okay.
in and out of the dryer, and then the nutrient. I used to have that produce, like what I dried, and then I was like, if I can preserve this, but obviously I didn't package it very well, so it didn't. It absorbed moisture back,
Okay.
because it wasn't very. I didn't.
You didn't seal it.
I didn't seal it up, but then it lasted for like over a week, right? Like that.
Without you sealing it.
Without me sealing it, I put it in paper envelopes and I took them.
Wow.
And then it was so nice. So that is one very innovative concept. It's not novel as per new. It's something I saw when I went to the National Nigerian Stored Products Research Institute. There also they have a lot of silos, cribs, but then that solar dryer was on a large scale, very big, very. It's like as big as a screen house. Exactly, exactly. But that one would be expensive, so I tried to look for the low budget, low cost one, and I made the new one by myself. So that is one way where you can process tomatoes.
Sorry, before we move further, let's talk about the solar dryer that you built for a while. let's talk about it, because I'm truly interested in it. You said the cost of you producing that machine was less than 50K.
It wasn't a machine.
Let's say 30K.
30K. It was very less than 30K, because let me tell you the materials I used. I told you the mattress, the new freshly, when you buy a new mattress,
Yes.
there's this covering on it, this
Yes.
transparent covering.
Yes.
It can be very thick, because
Yes.
even if you sleep on that mattress, you feel a lot of heat.
Exactly.
That's one. Then styrofoam, when you buy new television,
Yeah.
and then you that styrofoam
Some
thing.
people call it chicken bread.
That you can dissolve to
Yes,
make Evo stick. I
yes. Some
made a
people
lot
use
of
with
Evo stick
when I was a child, we dissolve it in petrol to use it to do
to
gum.
exactly gum. That's
Yeah,
Evo stick that used to make fix
exactly.
your shoes and all. That I used that because it was like a padding for it. Then I
Okay.
found my because we're two people that were interested. My partner used maybe I'll ask him for pictures too. He used a DSTV dish for his own. So his own was very interested in such way that if you see it. So a DSTV dish, a DSTV dish is designed to trap signals because of that
Yeah.
concave shape. So he wanted to apply that particular would I say concept into heat trapping.
Hmm.
That what if you tie you maybe like a basket of fruits that you tie at the top. What
Yes.
if you apply that, trap the heat in that concave shape, or is it convex?
Yeah.
That shape of DSTV dish, can I also apply that concept into solar
To be
dryer
trapping energy.
to be trapping energy because of that? Then did something was like, black, wearing black, all this black absorbs it.
Heat.
He
Yeah.
painted it black, and then it gave. Then he used supporting iron to support it. He started trays in it, and it was good to go. And it was like very very because we now placed it at the roof of our building, and if
So
you see us climbing the roof, you think, what are these people doing?
on
But
the
then,
roof.
and you don't necessarily, you can put it on the floor beside you.
Well,
And it happens in such a way because we're taking parameters. Obviously, you take parameters, you take humidity, you
and it
take
doesn't cause any pollution.
pollution. You're using scrap metals, one, you're using scrap materials, and then there's nothing that is going to be gift because it doesn't use electricity, it's using solar energy.
Okay.
Solar energy.
So if you have anybody to sponsor you, would you be able to produce something like this on a large scale? Because who
Definitely.
knows, somebody might be watching you out there and the person will have the money.
Please
So if you
sponsor.
have a sponsor watching
Definitely.
you and you'll be like, okay, Dami, I have this a billion naira for you to start up something,
Definitely.
produce it on a large scale, distribute it out there to people, or even place it out. You said the cost of producing one
It's very
was less than
cheap. Yes,
30K.
it's very, very because
And
we
at a
use
go, it could
scraps.
process or dry
Up
something of
to
up to 4
4
kg at a
kg.
go.
Yes.
And how long does it take to dry?
It
Up to
depends on
24 hours.
yeah, but I think that's a major limitation of this because it uses sun, it uses this energy from the sun. And just imagine if the temperature of this, let's say the temperature of the sun was, or normal air temperature is like maybe 35, 30 degrees, like we're having hot climate now.
Yeah.
That dryer could go up to 50, 60 degrees.
50, 60 degrees.
Yes.
That is at the peak of
Yes,
sunrise.
yes. I'll send my project to
But
you too.
that will not be an issue because if tomatoes or any food produce at all should undergo a temperature of 50 degrees at a minimum of 3 hours, then if it should last up to 3, 4 hours at a go at that temperature, that produce should be able to sleep overnight and continue from the following day when the sun is up.
Yeah, but absorbing moisture content because there's
But even the
humidity.
absorption of moisture content after it's going down,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be that much for it to spoil to the following day.
No,
So
definitely
there
not.
will be a continuation.
There will be a continuation.
Exactly. So the point I'm trying to draw out is you saying that because the sun going down in the evening and the temperature of the machine going down, it shouldn't be a
The
limitation to
limitation
to some extent because it will just be like it will preserve that produce inside it to continue the following day. So a minimum of 2, 3 days that should be ready.
2, 3 days is even too much.
So that means there's still a possibility that if you are chance or you can build more broadened disk that will trap more electricity or
Yes.
heat, energy.
Yes.
That means the temperature in it, there's a possibility of it rising to like let's say 70 degrees.
Yes. Yes. There's a possibility of very, very much possibility because you've entered the screenhouse, you can see how hot it
Yeah,
is.
how hot
But then
it
this
is.
is now even hotter than the screenhouse. So
These are some minor challenges that if you
yeah,
really walk into it, you can
it can be a
easily
very good to go
solve.
one. It's a very good alternative to electric drying because I compared it to the electric oven, and the difference between the time, it wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long.
There's a statistics for it in my project. You see the comparison. It wasn't that long, but then sun drying was even the worst. Because sun drying, you're exposing it to birds, environmental factors, dust, and all, and then the sun will still dry it because the humidity from the air is still touching it. It's still, as it's drying, is absorbing if you're using sun drying. But then if you're using the dryer, as is drying, clean hair is coming out to carry the moisture away. So the moisture is actually being, as long as the moisture is living, that's the concept. It uses the concept of a normal oven dryer, but just imagine the cost.
So, guys, the viewers out there, Dami has been my guest on this platform for a couple of weeks now, and we've been discussing sensitive matters in agriculture that we really provide solution. One thing about me, I keep resounding it to your hearing, re-echoing it every time, that I am a man or an individual that is result oriented. That's why whether you have a first class, you are a 2-1, don't just bring it to my face, come and brag. What can you do with that first class on the field? If you are given a piece of land to work on, what can you do? Can you execute that knowledge on in real life? Can you bring it to reality? So we are so sorry that we've diverted into the machine that Dami has built during her undergraduate days.
Machine.
It really, yeah, it's a machine.
It is, but it's not. Check people who argue with you that that's a machine.
So what's it?
It is just something very effective. It gets the job done.
So what's the definition of a machine? You see, now I did physics, at least my little knowledge of like secondary school physics, at least I know if I do mechanics, I did all this. So I will tag that a machine. But it's very effective. So if we have people like this who could come up with, just imagine that. So in fact, this is the first time, even behind the scene, we've never discussed about this at all. This is the first time that I'll be hearing her talk about this, and it really captured my attention. It is something that people who have money, supposing I am a millionaire or I have money to invest in this project, trust me, I don't mind buying it off from her, buying the position. But I am not going to put the document out there because I believe there are people who are ready to steal a process, of which I wouldn't want that to happen. So if you have money and you want to invest in this knowledge and build it up, then this is an opportunity for you. You can seek partnership of maybe 10-20% of anything she will be producing. And trust me, if things like this are in the market out there, let's say she produces 100 to 200 units of this machine she's talking about now. Imagine the amount of food that she will contribute her quota to saving and not being wasted. So these are some of the things that we really need people to put in energy. And she's not a first class graduate, actually. She's a 2-1 graduate from the University of Ibadan. So this is me giving kudos to University of Ibadan and challenging other institutions, including my university. I'm not, because that's the fact. Though I know that a lot of people have graduated, sound mind have graduated in my university, that's the University of Learning actually. But these are some of the projects that we should really pump money into and see that, oh, our students are really producing things that we bring, not just writing projects in paper and after they are done, they will just discard everything behind the doors and that will be the end. We need visible things that we can see, solution providing projects that students will write and come about, bringing down solutions to most of these agriculture challenges that we are facing. We are in this field together. And so far, Unilearn Fanboy is in agriculture, and we keep pushing. We will keep pushing until we make sure that Africa is proud of us. So coming back to you, Ms. Dami, let's move forward regarding the topic we're talking about. Talking about food wastage and how to go about preservation. We have talked about tomatoes. Pepper is a bit not perishable compared to tomatoes. So we have sachet pepper, we have sachet tomatoes, we have things like, do you feel some of these guys add preservative to some of these tomatoes? And do you feel
Tomatoes or pepper?
Tomatoes and pepper? Because I mean the processed ones that we buy in sachet or things thereabout. Do you feel there are other organic ways that we can go about preserving these things that we outgrow some lifespan of maybe 5, 6 months, 12 months to be precise, that there will be no preservatives, just organic ways of going about preserving them?
Yes, I think they are, and I think this companies that process these things, they use preservatives. Because like I said, you can open Gino sachet tomato
Mm,
paste, and for some days, 2 3 days, it's still there. It's tomatoes now.
exactly.
You shouldn't do that. And it's even because I think the problem with tomatoes is because of especially fruits, moisture content is the
Hmm.
very moisture content is responsible for food wastage in general because bacteria, fungi, pests, everything would develop because of moisture content. That's why greens, except from maybe weevils, aphids, and all of that that can
Yeah.
feed on those ones, they don't really have as much deterioration as the fruits that have like moisture in them. So because of moisture and heat, they're very, very bad together. So I think they actually add processing to this thing. And I remember that there was a time I was having a conversation with somebody about how better to process tomatoes or process pepper. And
Yeah.
she was like, let wash this pepper, do the normal processing, blend them smoothly, put them in bottles and
Seal it.
seal them and make sure I did it the first time, I didn't get it. I'm still going to try it again. And make sure you cover them in such a way that you don't open them and they can store for a that
Mm.
is something you can do yourself. You don't necessarily have to have a machine or something. You're just looking for containers that can cover and store this thing in very airtight conditions. And you're good to go. Because as long as outside air doesn't affect it to deteriorate it,
It will not
it's
spoil.
good to go. Yes, it's good to go. So that's for pepper. That's for even tomatoes. Because if you want to make soup, you blend tomatoes and all of that.
Mm.
Blend it smoothly. Make sure you boil it. Yeah, boiling is very important. Boil it, make sure it's ready, and then pour it into these jars or containers. So we would have seen videos of people doing that on social media. It's like everywhere. It's like a hack now for people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So let's talk about post-harvest wastage.
Mm.
Looking at beans, for example, I personally have watched videos of people using sniper
Yeah.
to store beans.
Yeah.
So we have even the beans we buy in the market, only God knows. In fact, it's God that has been saving us because we don't know what they use to preserve all these beans. So talking about post-harvest wastage, are there measures or ways you can suggest or you know that okay, do it like this? Some people use phosphocin. You know phosphocin, that cylindrical tall tablet. So they will just remove one and put it. It's a very dangerous drug. Though it is volatile, it can escape into the air. So some people use some tablets, wrap it well inside the nylon, but the odor will help kill insect inside the beans and stuff, which is still not healthy for people to eat. So talking about post-harvest wastage, are there some of the or do you know some of the ways that people will embark on to make sure that they store their grains for up to a year without all these weevils attacking it? Because post-harvest wastage, the stuff I read, they said 97% of the wastage comes before this stuff
Yes, the
gets to the consumers.
consumer.
So
Yes.
that means on reaching the consumer, that means about 90 to 97% of the grains or the food has been wasted before
Yeah.
getting to the consumer. So, do you know any way that we can more better and healthier ways that we can go about preserving all these things?
Right now, I won't say like I specifically know, except the traditional ways of which they've been preserving stuff. And I found it to be very effective because anytime you have weevils in your beans, they'll tell you spread it outside.
Hmm.
Put pepper, this
Yeah.
dried shombo, this dried long
Yes, yes,
pepper,
yes. Like chili.
chili, yeah, put it in it and it basically scares this. And I found it to be effective. I've done it several times and it works. But I think for me to be able to think of building a solar dryer to help combat this thing. I think there are various other ways in which post-harvest losses can be.
Sorry for cutting you in.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about what you just mentioned now? My mom also uses that method. I've tried it before. But have you ever thought about something? What chases using chili pepper to preserve beans? What chases them away? Is it the pepper or the pepper has a particular scent that
You see, I think it's probably the capsaicin inside pepper.
inside pepper?
Pepper is insects are like tiny living things and things that are odorous and all of that scares them away a lot.
So something that just
You can
come into my mind. Can you
extract
extract
the
that and
pepper.
control it?
Exactly. It's the way we're both thinking it. The same like you can extract because it's capsaicin Capsaicin is what makes pepper spicy. You
Hmm.
can extract it,
The
make it,
calcium inside the pepper.
yes,
Look for a way to multiply it in the lab and use it as organic means of
produce it
preserving.
exactly,
Hmm.
and that was help beans and
And it's
waves.
an organic way.
Why did we speak of this on the video? Guys, sit down.
See,
Ideas are rubbing. Ideas are. Leave it in the comment section.
you,
Tell us
you,
what
you,
you do. Like,
you need to be paying us for bringing things
I
like
wish
this.
you were here in this conversation.
These are ideas that will really open your eyes for opportunities in
It's
agriculture that
when we
will make
both
you get
clocked
money.
in at the same
Exactly.
time. Even
That's how I will have to stop you. That wait. Something just
something
clocked
just
into my
comes into
mind.
your head.
And this how people make money. So you were just saying it. I was like, oh wait, what happened to
It
this? Because
can be. It can be
what made
extracted
me
now.
think like that is culturing yogurt in the lab. You know, if you want to culture yogurt, you just need less than a
little
sachet.
bit of a what do they call this thing? It's also
Yeah.
yogurt that has been cultured.
Yeah, to culture it to,
starter base or something.
and it will
And
you
it's
can use it to
multiply.
multiply. So I was like, okay, why don't you just extract this, multiply it, and use it? It was just yesterday during one of our classes that somebody said something. It was like they make use of hormone to pollinate tomatoes or pepper in the greenhouses because you know some of these external planting or field planting they require all these pollinating agents
Yep.
like butterflies, bees, insects, and all this other. But in greenhouse, you know, it's an enclosed environment,
Yeah.
so they will need either hormones to pollinate these crops or they will look for bees on how to unleash them inside the greenhouse. So he now said something that there's a particular hormone that can be used to pollinate. Spraying it on the crop, it will pollinate the crop
Yeah.
automatically. And he said 1 liter of that hormone is 500,000. 1 liter is 500,000. That's 500,000 naira.
Nature has its way of giving you
So
alternatives.
just imagine all these things we are enjoying for free. We are enjoying all these things for free, and once it comes to something like this, for us to synthesize it or make it man, you look at the amount of
You
money.
even see a bee inside your greenhouse. Shoo.
In fact, we will spray it, we flit it to die.
Or you
Just look at how the massive amount of money these insects are saving
because
us.
plants are living things too. They have hormones, they have these things, they have these things ingrained in them. And then we just have to like tap into that factor that okay, what is because plants have the tomatoes we're planting now, they have hairs on their body.
Exactly.
Those hairs, we think, oh, it's just probably a plant. They have their own thing. They have the reason why they are built that way. Creeping plants have a reason why they creep. Tall plants, erect plants have a reason why they're erect. Abscission happens for like a reason. So plants themselves are living things, they're living organisms. These things help them to like do you get it's normal processing for them.
Yeah.
And then we just need to tap into what exactly makes so like that. Like that capsule, I'll do some research on it too. I will research it like fine. I'm not joking. Daniel, business idea, business venture. To be honest, it's like it could be. And I would try. I think where I'll start from is when next I go home, I have some beans rivers that I didn't even put outside. I'll try to blend the
You know,
things.
somebody told me something. It's not up to. I think that was in December last year, about 3-4 months ago. He called me. He was like, he wanted to see me. So I was even hoping that what happened this one. So he first of all started by regretting. He was like, he's a lecturer in one of the prominent universities. I wouldn't mention the university's name, but he's a very approaching the senior level of lecturing. So because he has lectured for over 10 years now, so in chemistry. So he said something. He was like he regrets studying chemistry. That he was offered agriculture. He dropped out when he was a 200 level out of shame. That what will he do with agriculture, this and that. So
This again.
So he said when he saw my passion into agriculture, how I'm determined towards this, how I love what I'm doing, he just had to call me. He was like, there are a lot of opportunities in agriculture that he will advise me not to give up, that I should keep pushing for. That there are a lot of that now his eyes are open, but it's almost too late. That supposedly he knew he wouldn't have dropped out to go and retake jump again to start from 100 level.
Why?
He said there ain't nobody to counsel him. He never had the idea that there are a lot of opportunities in agriculture this way. So he now told me something. He was like, I should look for means of solving global problems
Problems.
in agriculture. By so doing, in fact,
Just pick a problem.
N-
One
like he
problem at
said,
a time.
nations and presidents across the end of the world will be looking for me. And that, so just imagine, I have never thought of this one. So it was as a result of our discussion that I thought, oh, people, and you see, somebody said something yesterday. He was like, you see, most of these aged people, they died with a lot of
Of
knowledge with them
knowledge.
that are
Of
not,
knowledge.
we couldn't tap in. They were not documented. They died
Because
with
they
it
were
and go.
illiterate.
Do you know that all these our aged parents, if you even as I'm more educated, I studied agriculture. My father never studied that. In fact, he never sat in an agricultural class for once. But there are some things that I will face, some challenges I will face on the farm, that I will
He
have to
knows
call him
more
back home that
experience
daddy how far,
and working on a
and he
large
will just
scale.
give me simple words, do this, and that will be
And it's
all.
always they can legit ask you to take one particular kind of sand. It will look like juju because when you
and,
ask him to take one particular kind of sand, or
and
maybe
that
that
will
sand
just
has
be
porosity or something that would help to combat whatever you're doing. My grandpa too had this very vast knowledge about plants and botanicals.
hmm,
Anything, yeah, or do cocotte, do this, but then anything that you can think of, any ailment, anything, he tell you, I just need to go inside one bush,
hmm,
cut.
and
And
that
then
will
he
be the
died,
end.
and then because he was still educated in a bit, he wrote it he documented
All
it.
the herbs,
Yeah, you could only write it in Yoruba, so he documented it at that
it's
place.
still very
But
good.
then the book is nowhere to found. To be found, it
Oh,
could have been lost. It's just one copy because he used to write it, and then
oh,
that book is gone.
oh,
They looked. My parents looked. My uncles and aunties looked. They couldn't find it. Now they are
oh.
missing the book. And the
Yeah.
book is somewhere, maybe even in shreds. He knows that we are looking for him, but it will not come
He
out.
did not speak. Oh. So these are like, guys. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel at this point, this might be the
I
last.
will not bring you to our discussions again.
This might be the last video you'll be watching about us if you fail to subscribe to our YouTube channel. But if you hit that subscription button, immediately we upload our next videos, you'll be one among the people that will be notified. So do not hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because discussions like this will be opening your eyes to a lot of opportunities. Myself and Dami, we are in this aspect of agriculture, not just agriculture alone. We are determined to provide solutions. So there are some things that we might like the funding to go into it, but we might be discussing some things, and it will just click to you, and you'll be like, oh, okay, let me do this, and that could be your breakthrough. So if you are a student of agriculture, a lecturer in any university, a professor, a doctor of agriculture, or any field at all, but you have interest in agriculture, this is an opportunity for you. Share this video to your classmates, to your lecturers, to your associate that you feel will benefit from this. Researchers, share these videos with them, because there are some things we'll be discussing on this Unilearn Fanboys channel that will really give you insight, and we help you to as well to do your research well. So do not hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also follow us across all our social media platforms on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and and Instagram. We are all live there. So just search Uniloin Fanboy across all these platforms, and you will see it there. We are not two, we are just one. So going back to this food processing again. The Western world, they are strongly against bringing in over processed or chemically processed food. If you want to export anything from Africa to any European country, it will have to undergo some tests to
Series of
see that,
tests.
yeah, series of tests to see that the chemical content in it meets on or meets up with their country's limits or demand. So for things like that, how do you see chemically processed stuff and organically processed stuff? Anything organic is usually very expensive. If I tell you that I produce this pepper or tomato organically, it will almost be times two the amount of the synthetic or artificially processed one. That's just the reality. In fact, even in the United States, in Canada, they have organic products, and they have the fertilizer grown ones. So people believe that fertilizer, they are chemicals. Then there are some people that use purely organic to grow their crops. The price is really different. So how or what can you talk about things like this? How should we go about the organic? Because it is we are getting to a stage whereby we should be health conscious too as well, despite the fact that we are blacks and we eat quantity, not quality. That's the reality. Now we eat quantity, not reality. It's plenty, they will just eat without checking the quantity. But in the Western world, at least they are developed enough to know that it's not just about quantity, but quality matters a lot. So how should we grow ourselves to reach that level too? That will be concerned about quality and not quantity.
Temperate regions and they're very high. That when they have their own, but I think it is actually justified for them to be worried
Hmm.
because if I saw in the news that somebody you sniper on beans,
You'll be scared. In
so
fact, myself will be scared too as well.
that thing when the news went round, it wasn't confirmed, it was unconfirmed and all of that. But then people were so scared. Like people stopped eating beans. If you
At
know
that particular time.
Nigerians a lot, they love beans. And they stopped eating beans at that particular time. Because there was a lot of things going on around with beans and all of that. So I think it's very, very justifiable that
Hmm.
they should go through these processes. On a normal day, we should ourselves because these things are changing. Like I said, climate change, environmental factors are changing, and all of that. And we need to consistently always do some research on these things. But then, on the concept of organic produce, inorganic produce, organic is bay actually. But then because organic is like you're giving back to the earth and all of those
Yeah,
concepts,
and you are being conscious about
and you're
your
being
health.
conscious about the earth. And inorganic is like when they tell you don't concoct a lot of things because one thing that might be good can have something that will hinder
Hmm.
and all of that, and it's going to antagonize each other. Or so I think we need to like go through more research, far more research to be able to make these things, I won't say seem better or make the effect not as noticeable because you see if you want to plant something to combat this type of pest, you spray one particular thing. To
Hmm.
combat another kind of pest, you spray another thing, and all of that. It's just a lot of spraying because we are like killing 50 different things at the same time. And then they don't have it that way. They're not used to that kind of spraying. Most of the things they do is probably like maybe controlled environments and all of that.
Yeah.
But even in controlled environments here, we still have because it's tropics. Tropics is like the life of Earth. It
Hmm.
supports a lot of living things, a whole lot
Exactly.
of living things. So I think more research needs to go into this inorganically processed um things or inorganically processed foods and all of that. And we need to understand that there can be health implications and it's very, very justifiable to have these health implications and to have this concern.
It has been a wonderful time discussing with you
Yeah.
today.
So,
And food processing is a very good niche, value chain addition in agriculture. And one sweet thing about this is that you can just decide to be getting your produce from the farmer, storing it at the right way, and later keeping it to sell.
and
And you
another
make your money.
interesting thing is that food processing is not limited to what we already. I think I mentioned one time when we're having one of our conversations. We have a lot of conversations. By the
Yeah.
way, we are the Unilori fanboy. And then I mentioned that I went to IIT in 100 and I had a different type of bread. You would not believe that that bread is from cassava.
So the people use cassava now to make bread.
They use it as long as can get flour out of it. You can use a lubot to make bread.
Wait, hold on. don't be too fast. Don't be too fast. Calm down. Let's understand you well. So you can use a bowl to make bread.
Yes.
That's yam flour.
Yes, although the taste and appeal to the palate has not been studied yet. I don't think I'll eat edible bread yet. But I ate cassava bread and
And
I
how
love
was it?
it.
Describe the taste to us.
It was one of a kind. I keep saying that I'm a gourmand. I know the kind of things that I want in my palate. I don't like things that are not substandard or that are substandard or that are not good. If it's not good, you won't find me there. And on my top list of bread after Butterfield, we all know Butterfield, so in 2007 Butterfield, and maybe some other bread, not the Gen Z ones that we're having now. That bread that I had from ITA, it was, cassava has this foul smell. Cassava is fufuna. I mean,
Yeah,
cassava is gari. And
yeah.
even when processing those things, they give us this odor. You will not know. I promise you, you know. It was soft. It was well baked. The texture was. It was not even like the kind of bread we're used to. That kind of
Hmm.
thing. It was, bread that, in abroad and all of that. They have different kinds of bread. What
Yeah,
we think as bread here is just white bread for them.
yeah. They
This
have
one
white
was.
bread. We have wheat
They
bread.
have sourdough. They have all
Yeah,
of that.
though.
This one was just very different. There's no even. Don't let me explain. And it was sweet, but not too
So, do they
sweet.
have that produce in commercial
That's
markets,
the thing. I
or is
haven't
still under
reached. I
research?
haven't. Most of the things in IT is
Yeah,
under
research
research.
work.
I haven't followed up on that, and that was that. I knew that kind of bread, except maybe God wants me to have it another time. It's only once.
Hmm.
You know how you have it, because it was very good. You wouldn't know it was from cassava. And then we all have this evil eye towards cassava. That cassava, like cassava can make
Cassava.
something that will
Hmm.
smell this nice, and it smelled very well. It was soft. It was sweet. The crust was crusting. The flesh was fleshing. It was just very very nice bread. So we might not necessarily have the conventional things. Through processing, we discover a whole lot of new products. We
Hmm.
discover that and that's why I keep going back to that pepper terra story, because what happened to them? They were making pepper packaged. That there were times when pepper was scarce and you just have to buy pepper terra and you can make soup.
Hmm.
So there were, what happened? Why did all of that go? And why are we just having some things that maybe production factors and all of that? But the thing with agriculture and the agricultural food chain is one value chain ties to another. I mean one aspect of it ties
It's
to
tied to
another.
the other. They are
So production
intertwined.
will affect processing. Processing might affect production. Why? Because if like now if I were making this packaged tomatoes now, packaged all of that, processed and all of that, and I see that production it's not going very well and all, it will
Hmm.
affect production because
Yeah.
I'll reduce and cut production. So through processing, we discover a whole lot of ways to preserve. We discover a whole new product. Like that radish that I was talking about that I dried. When you dry it finish, it forms this crispy kind of
Texture.
texture that you can just dice it up and put it in your food. And that's one thing why this product Admi that you can use to cook indomie and noodles and all of that. That
Yes,
is
yes.
dried vegetables. I really
Mm-hmm.
like what they're doing because it makes the vegetables more accessible. Like okay, always, and they will tell you always add vegetables to your noodles. But then, what kind of vegetables would I be adding? Would I just
Hmm.
pluck anything green? But then you just buy one sachet of that and cut it up, soak it in water. Although preservation techniques also matter. We need to go into how they preserve it, how they make sure it starts dried and all of that. But soak it in water and put it and you have vegetables. And then you're
Hmm.
good to
You are
go.
good to go.
Vegetables on the go. That's the thing. Solving food problems. Solving food problems is important to solve food problems. Yeah.
Oh, I think one of the should I say greatest gifts that Ogun State gave me is the gift of Dami because yeah, I met people and I'm still meeting people.
You're still
But
meeting people.
like it has really been nice since we started
Mm.
this series of educating people about agriculture in
Agriculture.
various aspects and using your insight, your experience in school, starting from your undergraduates, even before the pre and pro graduate
And post.
and post. Like that's really been nice talking to you, bringing your experience to come and educate us and saying that yes, you are determined to go and build your career along this line, along this path, it has really been wonderful. Someone like me, I don't really need to convince you that I'm going to build my career along this path. Seeing me, you are seeing a Greek. So that's just it. So viewers out there, thank you so much for being a part of today's episode. Like, it has really been nice talking about food processing and value chain addition in our produce that we do. These are some of the challenges that we face in agriculture, and you solving just a single challenge, trust me, if it is money that is bringing you this aspect of agriculture, you are good to go. You don't hit jackpot. So focus. Do not be distracted. There's an adage that says anybody that is hunting an animal doesn't blow a whistle. So if you are aiming at an animal, you are still blowing an whistle, you are just sounding an alarm that animal should either turn back to attack you or run away. So be focused, like a hunter who is aiming at hitting an antelope. So we are the Uniloin Fanboy team, and together we want you to join us by subscribing to this YouTube channel and building a community of agriculture with us. We are determined to educate you in this aspect or this niche of agriculture. I am the Uniloin Fanboy, and with me is
Mr. Me.
See you in our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.